Hey there, beautiful souls. I want to talk about something today that's more important than our goals, right? In fact, I want to talk about three things that are more important than our goals. Now, I love goals. So to me, all goals are important, and it's fun to set goals. And most of us have our own set of personal goals, things that maybe we want to see happen in the next 6 months or a year. And those could all be different, right? But I think we all have like the common goals that we would like to reach also, like having a purpose in this life and enjoying living in our purpose. And then getting to enjoy the journey that we take while we're learning how to live our purpose. So today I'm going to talk about three things that help us enjoy the journey. And we grow through the process. And when we grow through this process, what we're doing is we're learning to embody faith in a bigger way. And we're learning how to sacrifice the things that keep us small and stuck. So these three things that I will be talking about are inspired by James Clear in his book, Atomic Habits. Now, the first thing that's more important than any of our goals is to know who we are, know our true identity. The poet Rumi said, "Stop acting so small. You are the universe in ecstatic motion." But you know what? We do it anyway, don't we? We act small. We buy into the lies of lack and limitation, like there's not enough, or I'm not enough, or I need to be fixed before I can do the things I love, or there's not enough love, understanding, or peace in this world. When we play it small, we hide, we doubt ourselves, and we may give up on things believing somebody else could do it better, right? We might be embarrassed of failing. But you know what? In these last 40 or 50 years, there has been an evolution of consciousness in this understanding of knowing who we really are. See, mankind overall, in the big picture, has believed that God is a supreme being outside, watching all of this play out. But in our evolution of consciousness, what we're learning is this is not true. Okay, God is not far off and just watching things happen. God is the substance and the source of all creation. God is everything. God is all things. Everything that's ever been and everything that's yet to be. And that means each of us. Okay? That means each and every one of us. Now, when things don't go right, I know that it can feel very tempting to want that Father God to just come in and fix everything. Right? I mean, what child doesn't want their daddy to swoop in and fix their boo-boo or their broken heart, right? Fix the things that are falling apart. So we want a personal relationship with our Creator, but so often we're still looking for a supreme being outside of us who will fix everything and just tell us where to go, tell us what to do next, and please just give us all the answers. But in the unity philosophy and other new thought philosophies, we're taught that really all the answers are within us. All the answers are within us. Everything we need is within us because the divine is within us. But it can be really scary to think that those answers are within us. The first time I heard this for myself, I was just like, I just can't even, right? I wanted something to be telling me what to do because I didn't trust myself. And you know what? When we don't trust ourselves, if we don't have faith in ourselves, we don't have faith in what's working through us, for us, as us. So actually, all of us, we do have an intimate relationship with the divine because God is within us. God is working through us, for us, as us. We are the divine expressing into human form. And so this is the first thing, to remember who we are. This is more important than any goal. And we could simplify it and just say, okay, who am I? I'm created in the image and likeness of my Creator. This is our whole point of being here on this planet, is to know ourselves as the divine, walking around in a body, and then being able to express that divine part of ourselves out into our life through our choices and through our actions. As the great C.S. Lewis said, you don't have a soul. You are a soul. You have a body. Now, when we live from this understanding that we are divinity being defined in this physical body, it changes how we do what we do. And I know I talk about this all the time. I talk about it all the time. But see, it's not enough for us to just get up every morning and say, okay, I'm an expression of the divine. God is all things, and that means me. We also have to, and this is number 2, we have to have an effective process to be able to put a practice into action and repeat it, right? We have to be able to remind ourselves all the time, God is all things, and that means me. Now, there are some things that absolutely don't work, okay? For example, complaining and blaming. This does not empower us. This does not remind us of who we really are. In fact, it separates us even more. The more we complain and blame, the more we get cut off from the divine at work in us, through us, for us, as us. Okay, so I'm going to talk about 2 processes that really work, okay? So the first process is, of course, our unity principles. God is all things, and that means me. I create my experiences through my way of thinking and acting. Prayer and affirmation align us more with the divine within, and it's not enough to know these. We must live them. Okay, so we have to be able to find for ourselves a process that we can actively utilize, because you know what? You're going to step out into your day and something's going to come up. Something's going to get bad. If we have a process that works for us, we can remind ourselves of who we really are. Okay, we're the divine expressing in this physical body right here and now. And so now we've got these obstacles, but we give those obstacles, we give those challenges the opportunity to reveal the solution. Because when we see God as the everywhere present source that it actually is, that means a solution, well, it can come from a surprising place. Now, the second process that we have that works very well, and it's kind of nice to use it just to get out of something like right there in the moment, but in Unity we call it the denials and the affirmation process. And denials and affirmations, it's not about denying that something is not affecting you, okay? It's not about pretending. It is about denying that that thing has power over how you decide to show up for your day, right? So it's 110 degrees outside. Maybe you don't like the heat. You don't deny that it's hot out and decide to bundle up in your coat. You deny that the heat gets to dictate how you show up in your day. Okay? Your affirmation then could go something like, I am designed to be creative and resourceful, and even though it's really hot outside and I don't want to leave my house, I'll get inspired. I'm inspired all the time. I get inspired and I'll find something really creative to do right here if I don't feel like leaving my house. Okay, so we've got these 2 processes. And so now we make the effort. We're making the effort to understand our true identity, right? That we are the hands and the heart of God in this world, right? And we have an effective process to use even when life is difficult, but we have faith in this process. So we do okay. We are able to get through things. So now what we need is a commitment to that effective process. Okay, so I've known about the unity principles since 2000, but I didn't live by the unity philosophy, but I did like to quote the affirmations that I learned, right? So I was quoting unity affirmations, but I wasn't feeling them. Okay, I wasn't feeling them, so I wasn't living them. So I would quote in the morning some of my favorite unity affirmations, and then I would go out into the world and I would be like, life's not fair. Why is this thing happening to me? I never get a break, right? The universe is out to get me because I wasn't committed to making this an effective process. It wasn't working, right? It wasn't working. There's a quote, and it's from the book of James. James chapter 1, verse 12, and it says, "Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial. For when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him." Now I want to break this down metaphysically for us. I'm going to start with which God has promised to those who love him. Right? This is quoted several times throughout the Bible. God will give you these things if you love him. But see, this isn't about loving some deity. Okay, this is about aligning with the divine within. It is about aligning our thoughts with divine consciousness, meaning we're not blaming and complaining. We're reminding ourselves, okay, wait, God is all things, and God is infinite in its potential, and God is everything that's ever been and everything that's yet to be. All right? All things are possible when I align with the divine within me. Okay? And so blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial. This means that when we stick to these processes, okay, when we listen and act in faith, even when life is bad, especially when life is hard, right? When life, we could call it bad. When we stand this test, when we stay committed to our values and to our belief system, right? God is all things. We receive the crown of life. Okay, we receive the grace of God. We receive the grace, and grace is the givingness of spirit. Anything that we need in that moment, right? Whether it's courage or fortitude, strength, understanding, wisdom, compassion, right? We get the grace to do what needs to be done. Okay, this is all about aligning with divine consciousness, aligning our thoughts with heaven. So we have that wisdom and understanding, and it changes how we show up in our life. Okay, so we remember who we truly are. We put an effective process to work, and we stay committed even when life is hard. That's what transforms us. That is what transforms us. The journey is what transforms us. And we're living as our divine self. So you can see that commitment is the key, right? Commitment is the key component that helps new behaviors and new ways of thinking take hold. We are rewiring our brain. The more that we do something, right, it takes hold. Okay, so let's have our call to action. We'll start with our affirmation, and we're going to keep it simple. I am light. That's it. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am not my failures. I am not my problems. I'm not the conditions of my life. I am not the things I'm afraid of. I am not lack. I am not limitation. I am not a being who's not enough. I am the light, and I am the joy, and I am the kindness, and I am the creativeness. I am the divine expression. I am the gold. I am the celebration and the love and the expression of pure source energy. Okay, that is all that information, and more, of course, but that affirmation, I am light, that's what it implies. Okay, so this life of ours and this practice should we choose to do it, it's all about progress, right? Progress. Excuse me. Progress, not perfection, right? When we have a commitment to a process, we're taking small steps. And sometimes it's one day at a time, one step at a time. Sometimes it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But like anything that means anything to us, we have to put in the effort and the time, right? It is our commitment then to anything that transforms us. Now, this is why no one can save us. I mean, unless you're on a boat, and you get stuck in the water. Yeah, a lifeguard or somebody can save you. But I'm talking about changing our thinking here. Nobody can save us because this is all an internal process. Now, we're going to find ourselves standing at that door to the unknown. We're not going to know what's coming next. It's going to feel scary. We might have some anxiety about it. We might have some excitement about it, but maybe nervousness too. And as we stand at that door, opening now to the unknown. Now, people can support us. They can hold our hand with us while we're there. But we ultimately have to step through that door on our own. Nobody else can do that transformation for us. Okay? If somebody else could do the transformation for us, we'd all be really physically fit. Okay, we would. All right? And think about this. If you wanted to learn to drive a car, you probably do drive a car. But did somebody do it for you? No. You had to get in that car. Okay? You had to get in that car. So transformation is what we experience as we go through the process, as we are learning to see the truth about ourselves and live our life that way, that we are a divine expression. Now, here's our invitation for this week. At some point, all of us are going to face obstacles. We're going to face something we don't like. But here's the opportunity to seek only the divine, to seek the good, to seek a source of solutions and inspiration. All right? And in this pivotal moment, as we are faced with something, and we can remember to say to ourselves, God is all things, and that means me. I am an expression of the divine. In this moment, we can ask the question, so how do I want to show up for my life right now? Now, you are a walking love letter to the world, and you don't even realize it. You're lighting up rooms, you are shifting atmospheres, and you're being a source of inspiration just by being you. All right, so when I think about this question, how do I want to show up for my life? I want to be a love letter to the world. I used to think, well, I want to fix everybody. Yeah, codependence much? Okay. But I realize it's like I can't make people change. I can't make people change. None of us can. We are all of us on a journey that is our own. And the activity of the divine is at work differently in each and every one of us. And we don't know how that activity is panning out in another person. So I decided, okay, if I'm just a love letter to the world, a love letter about what's possible with compassion and love, right? Then, like, what couldn't that do for people, right? If somebody's ready for it, they're ready for it, and there it is for them. All right, so how do I want to show up for my life? What is my process? Like, how do I remember that I'm an expression of the divine when there's a bunch of craziness happening in my life? How do I remember that, right? So what's my process? I like the unity principles myself. God is all things, and that means me, and I create my experiences through my way of thinking and acting, meditation, and affirmative prayer align me with the divine within, and it's not enough to know these. We must live these. So what's my process? That's my process. What's your process? And then how can we commit to it? How do you commit to your process? Now, once we make this commitment, step by step, one day at a time, little by little, we're making progress, right? A little step after a little step. It doesn't have to be huge changes happening. Just one step after another. You know what happens when we take one step at a time to remembering who and what we truly are? We're creating heaven on earth. That's what we're doing. We're creating heaven on earth. So until next time, remember, you are divinely designed to be doing all of this. You are a one-time, one-of-a-kind cosmic event. In everything you do, you are blessed. And so it is.